I know what you want, you goddamn junkie. You want your stories. You want stories that are far stranger than any Stephen King book. And you'll do anything to get your kicks, you sick fuck. Well, you're in luck. I took a communications class one semester in college, so I'm a natural orator. And I happen to have a plethora of stories that will leave you scratching your head in disbelief. Let's begin with the Body Donation Center from Hell. Picture this headline. Man who donated his mother's body to an Arizona Center for Alzheimer's Research discovers it was sold to the US military for $6,000, strapped to a chair and blown up in a blast test. While this article might sound like a parody, this dystopian situation is very much real. And, of course, it took place in America. Sometimes, as an act of heroism, family members will donate the bodies of their loved ones to universities, hospitals, and body donation centers in the hope that their loved one's mortal shell can help in the advancement of science. And there was one such body donation center in the state of Arizona. It was known as the
Melanie Graff is live at Biological Resource Center and Biological Resource Center.
Biological Resource Center Inc., or BRCI, was owned by a man named Stephen Gore. You just can't make this shit up. Stephen Gore. Anyway, BRCI assured families that their loved ones' bodies would be treated with respect and dignity, and their bodies would only be used for scientific research. Unfortunately for the families, the scientific research in question was different than what the families had in mind. Instead of curing cancer, their loved ones' bodies were used for a different kind of scientific research. Specifically, military research, such as how much C4 would it take to completely annihilate the human skeleton. And this happened for a long time. But unfortunately for BRCI, their years of desecrating and selling bodies for profit caught up to them.
Details tonight about the Phoenix Body Donation Center raided by the feds.
FBI agents raiding the Biological Resource Center.
The FBI found some pretty gruesome shit that if I were to describe in any shape or form, this video would be demonetized.
What? Philadelphia! Oh, hell no! That's hell no! Whoa!
But luckily for you, I have more chances of winning the lottery than seeing a single cent from this video. So, I have no need to self-censor for the sake of profit. Anyway, the FBI found all sorts of shit, like different bodies stitched together like Frankenstein, body parts piled on top of each other, and finally a cooler filled with male genitalia. Naturally, the family members were horrified, and a lawsuit was filed in 2019. Stephen Gore, whose name sounds like a supervillain, was made to pay $58 million in restitution. So what do you think? Pretty insane, huh? Stephen fucking Gore. You just can't make this shit up. But let's move right along, as I need to tell you about a tale of a young entrepreneur. You see, as a kid, I remember feeling a bit inadequate, as I often heard stories of these wonder kids doing amazing things like going to Harvard at 12 years old, or making $1 million in stocks. Like, when you compare yourself to those kids, you kind of just feel lazy. However, that is no longer the case, as I think kids might be a bit dumber these days. However, there was one young entrepreneur who proved me wrong. Meet Quant, a savvy investor who at the age of 13 made 50 grand off of crypto. You see, Quant came to the realization that a lot of adults are kinda stupid. And there is a website called pump.fun, which is a crypto site where people can buy and sell crypto and lose all their money. So Quant had the genius idea to make his own crypto, called Quant Coin. And then he proceeded to rug pull it. But to make things even funnier, he live streamed himself rug pulling it. Now here's a clip of the exact moment he rug pulled.
All the wrong reasons.
Wow, oh, yo, it's nuked. Why is it nuked?
No way.
Oh.
Holy holy
You full clip.
holy thanks for the 20 bandos.
So after rug pulling, Quant inevitably got a lot of shit from his investors. They were betrayed. How could Quant do this to them? So, to show how truly sorry he was, Quant made another crypto, this time called Sorry, which he then proceeded to rug pull again and make 13 grand. And then after this, Quant proceeded to make another crypto, this time called Lucy, which is the name of his pet dog. And then predictably, he rug pulled again and made 10 grand. And then do you know what these idiots, I mean savvy investors, did in order to teach him a lesson? They bought Quant, the first crypto, so that the value would skyrocket. Because I guess in their tiny, tiny minds, they think that this kid will feel regretful, as he could have potentially made even more money had he not rug pulled. But the only reason why Quant rose in value in the first place was because this kid scammed them out of their money. Anyway, this is just a funny situation overall, and is proof to me that financial literacy is dead. Now it's time for our obligatory Chinese segment of the video, as the boundless power of the People's Republic stretches the entire globe. And I am also just hoping for a drop of that sweet, sweet Tencent money. Xiaohongshu! Chinese history is kinda crazy, as there are numerous examples of a crazy man taking power and millions of Chinese people dying as a result. For example, the Jiajing Emperor, the 12th emperor of the Ming Dynasty, was a pretty crazy dude. You see, the Jiajing Emperor was a very spiritual man who was obsessed with obtaining immortality no matter the means. One method he took to extend his life was alchemy, and there was one concoction in particular that he was very obsessed with. This concoction was called red lead. It was a substance made out of I don't know how to sugarcoat this, period blood of young girls who were fed nothing but mulberry leaves and rainwater. Yeah, anyway, the emperor would have these young girls gather their food every morning, which again would be just mulberry leaves and rainwater. And many of them fell ill due to the cold and the back-breaking labor that is required to gather their food. And anyone who refused this back-breaking labor was executed. And this was also a punishment for many of the emperor's concubines, as they failed to take care of the emperor's longevity turtle. I am not making any of this up. So the woman, tired of the emperor's shit, hatched a plan to kill the emperor. So while he was by himself in his favorite concubine's chambers, the women of the palace rushed him. They tied a hemp rope around his neck in order to strangle him to death. Unfortunately for them, they tied the rope wrong, and the emperor simply passed out of fright. Eventually, these women were caught by a eunuch, who reported the incident to the empress. As a result, the empress had everyone who was involved with the incident executed, no matter how small the involvement, including the eunuch who reported the incident to the empress in the first place, for reasons. They were all executed by slow slicing. Their bodies were then displayed on hooks, and their families were either killed or enslaved. However, the emperor resented the empress, as she had the emperor's favorite concubine executed while he was incapacitated. So when a fire broke out in the empress's palace, he refused to have her rescued, and she died in that fire. According to the emperor, her death was the will of the heavens, and it was out of his hands. Also, instead of learning from this uprising, the emperor went even harder and had even younger girls brought in for his red lead. And while I could regale you with even more stories about this heavenly emperor, I think it's about time we end. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.